We are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy.
Dummy. Conspiracy dummy.
Hey, welcome to Conspiracy Dummy, the conspiracy podcast that is the Titan of Truth. I am your host, the eighth wonder of the world, Double D. Joining me on the podcast, we have the king of monsters, JC.
Rawr.
Give me your best Godzilla impression.
Damn, I can't even do it. No, okay, I said.
I got it. That's what it is. All right, man. Let's get into it. Hey, man, what's a king to a god, bro? Better yet, what's a god to a non-believer? I tell you, bro.
Oh, okay.
I tell you what's up. Jack shit when you're going up against the Homo superior. You feel me? This dude, King Kong, man, that fool is learning how to use fucking weapons. You know what I'm saying? I thought that fucker knocked that fucker out, bro, like a couple of times. I think, hands down, he was the one that got the... You know, if you think about the old fucking movie, too, he's the victor of that fight, too, as well.
Right? I mean, he's kind of like the protagonist, like the good guy and all that. And I think Godzilla, like, is the antagonist because of all the shit that happens when he shows up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he does save people or whatever, but, like, I mean, he's breaking buildings.
For real. They're all fucking breaking down shit, killing people in the
For
wake.
real.
But what were you on, bro? Were you Team Godzilla or Team Kong?
I think I was definitely Team King Kong, dude.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I just have this like kind of like association to him and like cool shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Donkey Kong,
Oh,
King
yeah.
Kong, Training Day.
Us being
You know what I'm
fucking
saying?
primates and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Ready Player One, Mighty Joe Young. You know what I mean? All these
Yeah.
like gorilla like characters. I was like, yeah, King Kong is probably reigns supreme over all of them, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like that was like my boy.
Yeah, for sure, man. Me too. I'm fucking Team Kong all the way. I'm primal as fuck, man. I like that shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
So would you wait? So then you think that gorilla's the king of the jungle, or you think the lion's the king of the jungle? Like
I don't know, man.
that old saying.
In that case, yeah. Well, who would fuck up who, man? Like gorilla or?
I think a lion, bro.
There's no lions in a jungle, so that shit's all fucked up.
I mean, yeah.
It'd be tigers, right?
I think it would. I mean, there's definitely tigers in the
jungle.
jungle.
Yeah. So we would fuck up who? A tiger or a gorilla?
A gorilla, bro.
Gorilla would fuck up.
Well, I mean, you gotta watch Tarzan to find that movie out. To find that answer.
for
That's right. Or the Jungle Book or something.
Yeah, man, for reals. And to think that, there was supposedly a Gigantopithecus, like a giant ape at one time that
Right,
existed.
right.
I don't know if it was that big, but we did have dinosaurs too. So
When they say they have like these, I don't know what they are, man, but the like monoliths or like rock formations that are like actual markings of where like they buried fucking giants and shit. Like,
Oh,
you know what I
shit.
mean?
I know, yeah,
I can't
Who
even
knows?
I can't even think of any of them, but like
some
you hear people talk about like, oh yeah, this rock formation so and so means that like the giant was buried, like
there's a big red palm print on it.
it's just a fucking it had a fucking big huge cross. A giant cross.
That shit's crazy, man. What'd you think about the movie though, the Godzilla and King Kong?
It was a legit action movie, like
For real.
legit. You know what I mean? I like that it started off like kind of like right away, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah, just got right into it, huh?
it kind of like got down like I forget like the beginning, but it just starts off like in paradise, and you see, Kong kind of like floating around doing his thing, and then boom, you get snapped into the movie. Like it's
For
going
real,
on. Like,
man.
all right,
He's stuck in some
everything's not as it seems right now,
Oh, for
because the
real.
first Kong movie I said not the first one,
Skull Island.
but Kong Skull Island, I think that took place back in like right after Vietnam, like
Yeah.
right before the 80s, so like still in the 70s.
Yeah.
So when it jumps to this movie, it's gotta be like almost like 100 years in the future.
Oh, yeah,
like it
for
seems
real.
like.
Yeah, how everything is. And he's bigger in size too. Because from that movie, I think he was so small.
Oh wow.
Because if you think about it, dude, in this movie too, that's what kind of one of my gripes with it. It's just like the scale of things. Because King Kong, bro, really, if you think King Kong, he was climbing fucking skyscrapers.
Yeah.
He was climbing. Godzilla's like the size of a fucking skyscraper.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know.
Oh,
I don't really
man.
know how that shit works, man, but it was fucking dope.
Right. He had scaled the Empire State Building in the first one, right?
Yeah, for reals. And then, yeah, I don't know. Maybe just
Which was like the tallest at the time, was like the tallest thing, the tallest skyscraper on the world
biggest building there probably is, yeah, at the time.
at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. But it was a dope fight, dude. I watched those movies for the fights. I can care less about the fucking actors in the movie,
I
dude.
think the people that made the movie also could care less like,
For real, dude.
about the shit that
And like, you know, Bobby Brown, what's her name? Millie Bobby Brown?
Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, like you
I
could
think.
you could take her out of the fucking movie. She served no purpose. And the other
I
kid
mean, pretty
too.
much.
Yeah.
The other kid too. Yeah. The new was he from New Zealand or something like that?
Julian something. Yeah, that little kid with
I
the
don't remember,
accent. Yeah.
He's pretty cool. Even so like it was kind of cool, but you could have just stayed on the one black dude, like the conspiracy theorist dude.
Oh yeah.
Just
yeah.
follow that fool as he
podcaster.
uncovers
Yeah.
the mystery and shit that will unfold.
That fool sounded crazy, bro. He sounded crazier than I do.
He would like, dude, every time he would like start talking, it was like 20 conspiracies in
For
one. It
reals,
should be
yeah.
like the Illuminati brought down met with the Greys.
He
and
tied in everything.
Yeah, he was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. But yeah, the movie was alright, man. It was cool. I enjoyed Skull Island. I enjoyed King of Monsters, Godzilla.
I was equally as not interested in like the dialogue and human storyline
Yeah.
that was going on in those films too.
Especially the first Godzilla, there's like a lot of human interaction. Like you don't need that shit.
Well, that one was, I thought, was a trip because like you had like, you know, the trailers was like Bryan Cranston
I know.
and like full, you know, all like the guy from
Kick-Ass,
Kick-Ass was
yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
And like you were like, oh, this fools must be like saving the day. They must be doing something involving like, bro,
For
they
real.
just do jack.
They might as
fucking
well have
nothing.
gotten eaten in the first fucking scene.
I mean,
dude.
yeah, like
That would probably
that would have really popped off how serious like
For
fucking
real.
not fucking around Godzilla was and shit. I'll eat the
Right.
fucking stars in the first scene.
Yeah, for real. It probably made the movie a lot better. Have you seen the old flicks? Are you familiar with the old flicks? Are you a fan of them?
Just the not the Godzilla ones, but the King Kong,
The 1933
the
movie?
1933 movie, and then I guess the remake with, you know,
Oh, like the 1976.
Adrian Brody
Oh,
and
okay.
Jack.
So there's
Jack
been
Black.
like 4 of them then. So like,
Yeah.
well, no,
well,
they did the spin-offs, but
they
there's
did, yeah.
King Kong 1933, and then I
Uh-huh.
think King Kong 1976, and then the Peter Jackson one
The Peter Jackson
2005,
one.
which is a dope one. You know what I mean? It's a long fucking movie.
It's fucking long.
But it's pretty dope. And then you got Skull Island.
Mm-hmm.
And Godzilla, dude, you got like a fuckload of Godzilla movies. Too many. They have
So many, bro.
so many, bro.
Well,
They
just
have-
so many monster movies. It's like it's no wonder that there's so many. It's because like the love of the kaiju or the
yeah.
fucking, you know, the giant things. Like for
Strange
me
creatures.
personally, I have that phobia of fucking large things.
large things stomping on fucking
Yeah, man.
buildings
Like
and shit.
it freaks me out. Like I don't think I could have like watched like the first Godzilla. Like when I saw that movie Cloverfield.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That shit was like triggering me about like, man, what the fuck? Why is this shit so big? You know?
Was he at kaiju too?
That was like
Cloverfield?
it was like a new kind, it's like a totally random. But I mean, we won't get off on that one because that one was crazy. But that had like its own little backstory, like that they try to set up maybe like a whole year before the movie came out.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it was like some company putting chemicals in the thing.
Uh-huh.
It rose out of the ocean. Who knows if it was there before? But it was supposed to be even fucking larger than Godzilla, I think.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! And dude, they had like so many villains. Godzilla had like a fuckload of villains. His rogue gallery is
That fucker's
fucking
like,
crazy.
yeah, like he's legit.
Yeah, like and those villains.
I can't
too,
even name them all, really. Like
I have a
Mothra,
few. Mothra,
Gamera.
Biollante. Biollante is a female kaiju. And you know, the beginning of these kaijus, man, in Japan, like they didn't really give them like any gender. They were like gender neutral
Gender neutral.
Yeah, they were like considered it. Godzilla was an it. This person was an it. It was like later the Americans kind of Mothra, it's a female. Started giving him Godzilla's a he. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I remember the movie in the I think it was 1999. They made Godzilla a she, and she had like laid eggs. She was like pregnant or something like that, and then they get all born.
Well, I know they did that in Britain. They made Queen Kong. They reversed the fucking role. It was like a fucking female ape trying to fucking kidnap a fucking dude. And you got like Gigan, who's an alien cyborg, half robot. He's like a robotic chicken, half praying mantis. You got King Ghidorah, the 3-headed dragon. That fucker's sick, bro. And then Rodin, the fucking like Rodan. It's like a phoenix, right? It looks like a phoenix on fire.
Something like that.
Looks dope. Mothra, famous one, big moth. So that's the fucking Mothman right there, or Moth woman.
The moth.
Like for real.
The moth person. So like, speaking of then,
They're called Mudos.
Mudos.
Massive unidentified terrestrial organisms.
Ooh,
The kaijus.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I only took the term kaiju from like the Japanese term or whatever it is.
And they say it a lot in Pacific Rim too. The kaijus.
Well, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, the kaiju. That's a dope movie too, man. The fucking kaijus and the Jaegers
Well,
and shit.
you know
And
what-
you need stuff, something like that. Like if there was real fucking things like this in real life, you would need a fucking form like Voltron and make some fucking crazy.
Exactly. That's where it popped off for me, bro. Voltron was the shit, man.
What do you call Jaegers? Huh? The Jaegers.
The Jaegers.
Yeah, you definitely need some shit like that to take these motherfuckers out, bro.
Man, the Power Rangers and shit.
For reals.
They get a morphin time.
And Godzilla too also did crossovers with fucking Fantastic Four, Shield.
No shit.
In the comics, also, I think they did with the Avengers as well. So there's some crossovers. I'm guessing comic books, but yeah, man, there's a fuckload of movies. Like each villain has their own movie too. Mothra, 61, Gamera, 67. They have their own flicks too, bro. It's crazy. And Godzilla just took off, man. King of the fucking monsters.
Like, without, I guess, giving too much of the movie away.
I'll spoil the shit out of it. I gave everybody a week for this.
All right, yeah, it's true, right? So the villain at the end, Goya. I don't know. I can't remember the name of it. Was there anything about that? You know how they had basically resurrected another like monster. Was that from the earlier movies?
This King Kong and Godzilla movie?
Yeah.
They resurrected. Oh, okay. Spoiler. The one that they came out, right? The main villain at the end. The main is Mecha.
I mean, like, yeah.
Mecha Godzilla, which is dope, dude. So fucking metal.
That shit was fucking tight as fuck, dude.
Dope. Fucking, yeah. He's probably one of my favorites now.
That was fucking, that was the shit, bro. Like, when I was like, wow.
Dude, when he was set up for those punches,
crazy.
and just come right in and sock fucking Godzilla.
It was like a fucking rocket punch and shit.
Yeah, and I gotta admit, like, Godzilla fucked up Kong in that one scene. I think Kong fucked up Godzilla the first round, and then the second round, Godzilla just whooped his ass to the point where he needed to be revived and shit to come back.
Yeah.
And they did this. This is like in the old movie too, Godzilla versus Kong. I think it's called King Kong versus Godzilla, the other way around. And it's a 1962 film. And that film, it's kind of similar, dude. Godzilla fucks him up. Kong gets revived by a lightning bolt, kind of brings him back and shit, shocks him back into whatever. And Kong fucks up Godzilla at the end on that one.
Oh, shit.
So it's kind of the same way for this one. And they fight on Mount Fuji on that flick back then. This movie they fight in Hong Kong. And it looks fucking dope, dude. The light
that shit's
looks
fucking sick.
Hell yeah.
Like the teamwork between them. Like, I mean, it went from being like a versus to like a buddy team up kind of.
Oh yeah.
Which I thought was kind of cool, right? You know, like it's kind of like how the classic badass meets badass kind of happens in the comics. You know, that's what happens when Thor like runs into Hercules and stuff like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? These two mega titans of like, you know, mythology.
Yeah.
Like they're cool, but like it seems like they box like every time and then they end up being cool after that.
Yeah, it gives like some balance to them. Like there's no victor. Like it's like exactly like Hulk and Thor.
Yeah.
There's
you don't really get your answer.
Yeah, you
always have your.
Yeah, and in this case, you know, Godzilla kind of fucked them up, but Godzilla was getting his ass beat by Mecha Godzilla, and then fucking Kong didn't come in. Kong kind of fucked him up on his own. With
I
that
think
fucking
Kong.
axe.
Well, obviously, yeah. Like Kong could have won at the end. He could have just sliced him up full.
Fuck
Like
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
So I mean, like if you're standing at the end, whether or not you fucked up, whether or not you got revived by somebody else, that's on them. You know?
Yeah, for real.
That's not cheating. You know what I'm saying? You got back up.
Yeah, for reals. And then, you know, the big main, I guess we're going to tie in the conspiracy now with this movie. These fucking kaiju, these creatures, giant creatures, they come from Hollow Earth.
That was the theory.
Yeah, and I don't think that was played out in the old films. Some of them are extraterrestrial and shit coming from outer space, fucking with Godzilla. I think they kind of...
And then Godzilla was from like nuclear bombing, right?
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, right
or was that what it was from, or he was like always there?
After, I guess, you know, Hiroshima and Nagasaki and all
Right,
that. After
right.
that nuclear explosions and stuff, I guess Japan was fearing the United States. So this is kind of like Godzilla was like an outcry or a metaphor for what happened.
Right,
You know what I mean?
like Fallout.
Yeah, Fallout, and you know, because Godzilla feeds on radiation. It just gets fucking bigger and meaner with that shit. So
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, it's crazy. So Hollow Earth, these are where the kaiju's come from, and there's like tunnels, and they're taking these tunnels to pop out everywhere around the world and shit. But Hollow Earth, man, basically Hollow Earth is a theory that the Earth is hollow within, and its interior space lies a thriving world of its own. So it's basically like a world within a world. Has like vegetation. It's like paradise. It has vegetation,
Yeah.
lakes, waterfalls, living creatures like these fucks, and you know, some people say tribes, hobbits, Nazis, or whatever the fuck's hiding in there.
It could be, yeah, man. I mean, when you think about how big the Earth is, and like how little we've been able to even drill inside of it, like how could there be fucking a whole fucking thing in there, bro? You know what I mean?
Who knows? Yeah, man.
But
The farthest we drilled is in Russia, and that's like 12 kilometers. Yeah,
12 kilometers.
yeah, that's like the farthest we drilled.
That
12
doesn't-
kilometers. 12 kilometers.
That kind of doesn't seem like very long, very far down. I mean,
I don't even know what 12 kilometers is.
I know, right? But like, let's just say like you could drive 12 kilometers. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. This is I wonder like what the
it's
the
7 miles. 7 miles.
Okay, so 7 miles. So we obviously know like to the core it's probably like fucking 1,000 miles or something.
For real. And the reason why they said they stopped drilling too, the Russians, was because it got fucking hot. So obviously, I guess you're getting to the core of something. But who knows, man? There's pockets. There's like famous scientists. Like throughout history, you have these great scientists that subscribe to this theory, bro. You have Edmund Halley, which is the scientist that discovered Halley's Comet.
Oh.
Also, Leonard Lure, who's a mathematician. John Cleves Sims, he wrote about it. He talked about like these holes in these entrances in the North and the South Pole. So you picture this. Get a pencil, right?
Uh-huh.
So you get a pencil, and you get like this, my fist, right? So
Uh-huh.
basically, the top and the bottom are the entrances. If you're like a flat earther, so you get this flat piece of paper right here. If you're a flat earther, similar. On each side, there's a fucking hole, and he believed that you can. These are called Sims holes. So that there's actually entrances to get to Hollow Earth, so according to John Cleves Sims.
Shit.
And even after he died, bro, he was trying to get an expedition going on, funded by Congress. He never got it approved. But after his death, I think Congress went ahead and did it. And supposedly they probably went out there and did their own little
Investigation.
Yeah. So
Exploration.
yeah, who knows what they found?
Well, in the movie, it's in the ice caps, the polar caps, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that they're getting these doctors to kind of lead this expedition to Hollow Earth to connect with some kind of energy source or something like that to save the world. I can't remember that part of the movie because I didn't really give a shit.
And
But they
Kong.
needed Kong to get through. So it was like some kind of portal, something that they
Yeah.
needed to like follow him in.
In order for them to get in there?
Yeah, because it was like I don't know. It was like some kind of shift, some kind of energy thing. I don't know.
Huh.
But Kong went through first. It was almost like Stargate. It was almost like Stargate
Stargate,
and shit. So he goes through, and then you know how like a wave kind of like pulls down and then kind of springs back.
Yes.
So as he's going through, they're kind of following him. That's why they were able to kind of travel. That's why they needed Kong to travel to Hollow Earth, because he was the only one big enough to do it. I don't really know.
I don't
That
know,
part
man.
didn't make sense, but the theory was that everything down there was kind of the same size as Kong. Like that's where he came from. Like that's
Gravity's different.
who even fucking knows. That's what it looked like. All that shit was different down there.
Yeah, man.
Like I don't know. I was like, where the fuck is the sun from?
It has its own sun. A lot of people say, well, from what these people said, that in order for things to like grow and flourish, like they need water, you need fucking sunlight and
They
shit
need,
like
yeah.
that.
Because I mean, like, okay, so like the soil would probably be fertile as fuck, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no fucking like I don't know about. I mean, I guess our pollution, ours whatever, doesn't reach all the way down there to Hollow Earth and shit.
Know. Like, there's no fucking anybody tapping into fucking resources and drilling.
Exactly,
And all that shit.
you know what I
Everything's
mean?
all-
They're not fucking putting on fucking roads,
for real. There's no
fucking drilling,
pollution.
fracking Hollow Earth and shit.
For real. But yeah, man, and then it's like, it's cool how they depict it too, how they, in the movie, how it's like a mirror image. And then like the sky is like the surface. Like,
Yeah,
it's pretty
like
cool how they,
there's like there's two surfaces, like one in the sky and then one on the ground.
and yeah, you had pilots. I think there was an Admiral Byrd who wrote about it in his journal, talking about it being the great I forgot how you named it, the great unknown. So I think he talked about like UFOs going in and out. I don't know, man, extraterrestrial life or some kind of shit in there, living in there, some kind of race of people. They say the lost 10 tribes of Israel's in there.
Like you remember that movie, the Time Machine?
Yes, yeah.
They had the Morlocks down there and
Oh,
shit.
the Morlocks,
They live down there and
dude,
shit.
there's just so many. Thor, talking about Thor earlier. Asgard. You got
Asgard?
Asgard. You got Midgard, which is Middle Earth. There's levels to this shit. You know what I mean?
But
For
those
real.
were like realms of places. They like
But see, like, I think that's how Marvel makes it. But here, it's Norse mythology.
Right,
So
right.
they believed, like a lot of ancient cultures believed, like the Greeks and the Egyptians too believed that they didn't come from the earth, but they went there when they died. That was their afterlife. It's like an underworld afterlife for them. That's what they
okay,
believed
for
in.
like the deities,
Yeah,
they would like return to Earth,
yeah,
to Midgard.
yeah, no. Well, this is the Greeks and a
Greek-
lot of ancient cultures believe that.
Oh, okay,
though.
okay, yeah.
Like, a lot of
lot of ancient
Buddhists,
cultures.
Hindus, they believe they believe something within the earth. You know what I mean? Also, the Hopi natives. You got the Hopi natives. They believe their ancestors came from the earth, came from the ground, with the help of the ant people.
Whoa,
That's what they call ant people. So if you think about it, bro, ant people, what eats ants other than an ant eater?
but
Lizards.
lizards.
So if you got ant people, you got
Lizard-
lizard people.
lizard people.
So that's what's down there, bro. It's fucking the reptilians and shit. And some of them are fucking taking steroids and getting big as Godzilla, bro. So
Yeah,
you got like a lot of movies that talk about, or books that talk about fucking a Middle Earth, man. You got fucking Jules Verne's Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Yeah, Jules Verne's.
You have Land of the Lost. Remember
Uh-huh.
that growing up?
Land of the Lost.
Yeah, Land of the Lost. What was that about too?
Land of the Lost was basically almost like a random happenstance of a family on a trip in a car, and the earth opens up and swallows them, and then they appear or they land in under earth, like the Land of the Lost, basically.
But
like,
here on Earth, though.
and
right?
dinosaurs and shit are still down there, and like life as
You got big-
is untouched by human, except for there's like the Neanderthal type people.
You got like Bigfoots in that too, huh?
I bet you they have Yetis down
Like
there,
Yetis and
and
stuff?
fucking that's where that shit comes from. So they encounter this, like I said, like a Neanderthal boy
Yeah.
who lives down there, and he becomes like their friend. It was like a kids show that came on that I think was a remake of an earlier show of
Yeah.
like the same premise. And
Yeah.
then I don't know, maybe 2008, something like that, 10, like around the 2010s,
Yeah.
that Will Ferrell movie came out about Land of the Lost. It's like almost kind of like the same thing, but
Chaka. Chaka, that's a fucking hairy dude. Hey, man, you know what? They did say Bigfoot's an interdimensional alien, so maybe that's where he comes from.
Yeah, dude, he could be running the whole thing.
For real, King Bigfoot. Also, you have Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Middle
Earth.
Middle Earth and shit. Dante's Inferno. That poem, that epic poem of Dante's Inferno.
Well, that's more. Yeah, I guess that is about hell. I mean, you do fall down in that shit. There are pits.
Yeah.
There are circles.
There's
You know
levels,
what I mean? Yeah,
man.
that's right.
You got paradise and purgatory and the Inferno.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you got that. There's levels to that shit too, and
It's pretty tripped out, right? I mean, why? Where would these myths? I think okay. So what I'm saying is like everything kind of comes from somewhere, right?
yeah,
Like maybe somebody journeyed far down there. I mean, there are caves that have like vegetation and stuff like that, but they
Carlsbad.
get sunlight. They get sunlight.
Carlsbad Caverns.
True. There are bioluminescent like creatures. Who knows what is even further down there that we haven't really even like discovered. And if the things are as large as they say they are, maybe they're just like they're so big that they can illuminate like
for real
the under earth, and they just stay warm with volcanic heat.
And just feed off Cretaceous.
Obviously, like water will eventually, where there's volcanic activity, there's volcanic acid creating caverns, which causes water to
hot pockets.
they
thermal
filter.
pools.
They build aquifers and all that kind of stuff.
So they can have something to sustain themselves.
They could have sustain like a ecosystem. But I mean, without the sun, not the fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I guess things could grow. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm not a botanist.
Dude, that would be fucking awesome if you could take
like, how the fuck would you get a sun down there? Is what I'm saying. Like, okay, like I get it. Like, that's the only thing that's holding me back.
Well, like if they talk about a core that's like heating our planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
That could be the core.
But like without the
sun,
without the UV, right? Isn't that what's important about that shit?
Yeah. I don't know, but that's like what they teach you in science.
Like the photosynthesis and shit.
You got the inner core, which is solid,
mm-hmm.
and then outside of that,
like an iron core was what they
the liquid, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but unless you're like really tapping into that shit,
maybe the gravity is even more hardcore down there, bro.
Well, that's what they say, dude. Like if you're in there, you're like actually being pulled apart, like gravity, because it. I'm not a fucking scientist and shit, but either it's pulling or it's like bringing it together. So either or, you're either gonna get like you know how they go in the ocean. Mm-hmm. The farther you go, you're gonna fucking be
like
smushed.
the pressure,
right? So either that's gonna happen to you, or you're gonna just be torn apart.
Man, that's a trip, dude. That's such a trip.
And then if you're entering these
like
holes
on
the top or the bottom, dude, like I said, the Russians dig like 7 miles into the ground. That's 7 fucking miles, dude, and they didn't get anywhere. Like, imagine falling in. If you just go, and that's fucking far.
They just abandoned that shit too.
I think they gave up.
I think they just fucking gave up. They're like, fuck it, like nah.
There's people and there's Hollow Earth, but we're never gonna get there.
I bet you once we have like fucking lasers and shit, bro, like at Walmart, we're gonna be drilling like wherever. We're gonna make a fucking Hollow Earth.
For reals. But man, dude, if that's where these fucking big fucking creatures live, bro, fuck that. Leave them there. Let them eat each other.
Obviously, man, like we're doing all right so far. Have you ever heard of? Oh gosh, I wish I had I wish I had a way of looking this up. But there was this comic book called The Runaways.
Oh yeah.
You heard of it? They came up with a TV show or whatever. And in the comic book, like the parents all belong to like this kind of society of criminals, and what they do is like kind of ritualistically sacrifice people to these kind of like gods, these giants of gods. I can't remember what they're called. They're called something with a G, Grimillions. I don't know.
Oh shit!
But they basically
Gremlins.
I know, right? It sounds like that.
I don't know, man. Let me see. And then
And they live underground.
in the comic books and the Runaways.
Well, they're like real. Apparently, they're like real things.
Huh.
Here we go. Hold on. I'm getting to it. Where's this plot here? Biography. Here we go. Sacrifice, abilities, future, blah 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 blah. The Giborium.
Giborian?
Yeah, I'm gonna like Google this right quick, and then we're gonna get the correct pronunciation of this shit.
That's hilarious.
Okay. Holy shit. Okay, it's a Hebrew word that can be glossed the mightiest, which is an intense. Hold on, let me start this over. Maybe this isn't gonna go anywhere. Oh, well, my bad. I thought that was gonna be all cool and shit.
No, that's cool, man. Well, I don't know, man. That's all I pretty much got on that shit.
It's a pretty dope movie. You know, you don't have to play super close attention. I mean, if you figure out what the plot was, let us know.
Yeah, for real.
I think it was just like, you know, Godzilla being mad that, you know, they were paying so much attention to King Kong and he has to go and fuck that dude up.
It's like, fuck this reptilian. Yeah, man. I don't know, but let's head out to the gym, bro.
Yeah, let's
It's time
do this.
to get swole.
Let's get it. Let's King Kong.
Yeah, let's beat our chest and pick up white women.
Duh.
Dummy. Conspiracy.